Could it be that it was an incredibly advanced society that existed before recorded history?
Hidden beneath the sands of Abydos is a structure that should never have seen daylight again. Archaeologists expected a temple. Instead, they stepped into something that felt wrong the moment their lights hit the stone.
When they actually penetrated this small door, they found a hidden room.
The air was heavier, the walls were scorched from the inside, and nothing matched any culture that ever lived in Egypt. Quietly, researchers began admitting what none of them wanted to say out loud.
What do the archaeologists have wrong in these archaeologist books?
I am a scientist. I believe on what's written in front of me, and I believe of a scene that I can see. But I don't believe on theories like this.
The Osirian was never a place of worship. It was something far stranger, something built for a purpose no one is prepared to face. The discovery of the Osirian, a structure that should not exist. When Sir Flinders Petrie, one of Britain's leading Egyptologists, and Margaret Murray, a respected archaeologist and pioneering scholar of ancient religions, arrived at Abydos in 1902, they expected routine work. Their goal was to examine the rear section of Seti I's mortuary complex. Seti I was a powerful pharaoh of the 19th dynasty, who was known for ambitious building projects and for covering every temple he commissioned with meticulous inscriptions. The site they intended to study should have followed every architectural rule of the new kingdom. But what they found instead forced them to abandon every assumption about Egyptian history. After clearing several meters of compacted sand, the excavation team broke through into a void. When their lanterns were lowered, the light did not reveal decorated walls or painted columns. It revealed a sunken labyrinth of granite pillars rising from a water-filled pit nearly 30 feet below the desert floor. No new kingdom site was built like this. None of them sat underneath a temple, and none of them used 100 to 200-ton blocks of Aswan granite, a material the Egyptians of Seti's era rarely used at this scale, and could not have moved with their known tools. Petrie's reaction was immediate and deeply unsettled. His surviving reports describe the Osirian as wholly anomalous. The sections of his notes that museums rarely reference contain a more disturbing observation. He wrote that the structure appeared unmistakably older than the temple above it, and flooded before it was buried. These remarks imply something archaeologists never teach. Petrie believed he had discovered a structure that predated the pharaoh who supposedly built it, and possibly the Egyptian civilization itself. The official publications removed these comments, leaving only sanitized interpretations that fit into the accepted timeline. The engineering contradictions only became more severe as the excavation continued. Moving granite blocks of this size would require lifting, transport, and precision cutting technology that does not appear anywhere in Egypt until 1,500 years later. Even then, the later examples do not match the accuracy of the Osirian. Under the waterline, the team documented rotational abrasion marks, the same mysterious machining signatures later identified in the Serapeum of Saqqara and the Great Pyramid's subterranean chamber. These marks cannot be created by copper chisels or dolerite pounding stones. They require a technique that applies continuous, controlled rotational force. No known civilization in 3200 BCE Egypt possessed such a method. The layout of the Osirian only deepened the concern. Its hall of monolithic pillars resembles the megalithic architecture of Göbekli Tepe, Sacsayhuaman, and other pre-flood sites that show evidence of advanced and unexplained construction methods. Nothing in the New Kingdom resembles it. The alignment of the hall, the geometry of the chamber, and the contact between each granite block all belong to a building tradition completely foreign to Egypt's documented engineering history. The most disturbing discovery came from the environment itself. When the archaeologists entered the Osirian for the first time, they did not find a dry chamber awaiting excavation. They found it already filled with rising groundwater, even though the surrounding desert was bone dry. The water did not enter the chamber randomly. It flowed in through artificial channels carved into the bedrock, as if the original builders wanted water to move beneath and around the granite pillars. This meant the flooding was intentional, not a geological accident. The Osirian was designed to use that water, either for pressure, sound, cooling, or some unknown mechanical process. This led to an even stranger realization. The entire chamber was engineered to connect with an ancient groundwater system that no longer exists today. The builders positioned massive granite blocks in a way that only makes sense if the structure relied on constant water flow as part of its function. The implication was immediate and alarming. The Osirian was not part of Seti's temple. It was the exposed upper shell of something far older, built with techniques that should not exist in its era, and engineered to interact with forces no New Kingdom architect could have understood. Whatever this structure originally was, it did not belong to the world historians believed existed in Egypt 3,200 years ago. But age alone does not explain the deepest mystery of the Osirian. Why did Seti I leave it completely uninscribed? Why Seti I refused to claim the Osirian?